It's a nice, beautiful morning here on the sunny Gold Coast, and it's approaching the end of the month for March 2021, and that can only mean one thing. That is a used PC parts hunt of the month. However, yesterday it wasn't the same story. It was a rainy day, and actually it's been raining really heavily where I'm at lately, to the point where it's been flooding a lot around the Gold Coast. So if you're around this area and you're okay and safe, then that's a great thing. Hope you've been staying safe. But we got behind here yesterday in the rainy deals. I just went out and picked up a Stormy deal where it seems like whenever I go out in the rain, I manage to get the best deals. And they're not just like really good deals, they're extremely good deals. And this one here was a server deal from someone that worked at a server place, and they said, Brian, like, do you want to come and pick up all this stuff? And I said, sure, like, what do you got? And they said, look, it's untested, but we'll do it for you a really good price. And so we ended up getting, in total, 16 PCs. Now I have left 7 of them upstairs. So we had HP, we had 3 of those, and they were the third gen HPs, and then 4 second gen HPs. Now those ones are left upstairs because I'm pretty much just going to take the CPUs and the RAM out of them, because they don't, they have the thing called secure boot, and it's generally locked on the second and third gen HPs. They're a real big pain if you want to recase, but all these right here, especially these Lenovo's and even these 4th gen HPs, they're recaseable because they will support newer graphics cards. And we even got a 1st gen Pro Liant thrown in, and all this was for a total of 650 Aussie dollars. So we got 9 PCs here that we can recase. In the case of the Pro Liant, we'll actually just reuse the case. And then we got 7 PCs that we can pick the parts apart for. So 16 PCs, 650 Aussie dollars. I'm super happy with this deal. It's ridiculously good. But speaking of deals, we have to get GPUs. That is still the most important thing, and I foresee it being the most important thing for quite some time in this current environment. However, my strategy going in is that I've been sitting on the low end here and I'm really enjoying it. I'm finding there's not a whole lot of competition. I guess there's not a whole lot of profit down here, but I really do enjoy the low end. It's just a lot of fun to get the most for your dollar. And I guess that's the tried and true method of Tech Yes City. Today's video is brought to you by SCD Keys, delivering you that retail, single and user license key for only $12 after you use the coupon code BFTYC. Link in the description below. Pulling up the first deal on Gumtree, and actually the only deal on Gumtree. This is for a GTX 960 Turbo 4GB. Now they're asking 120, put in an offer of 80. The thing is though, it's actually quite far down south. Now, this is one thing, if you got a good network wherever you are, make sure you make friends. If there's other people selling PCs in your area, or you're all into like the used PC parts scene, try to make friends with those people, because you can do each other favors. Like, for instance, one of my mates is down south, like he's driving past that area, so I'm just gonna give him a call and see if he can pick this up on the way back to the Gold Coast for me. And so that'll save me like 200 kilometers of driving, and since it's down south, it's not as good. The roads don't become as good as they are up here, sort of thing. So it'd take like roughly 3 hours basically for me to get this graphics card. So hopefully my friend can come through with the pickup. But moving on out of Facebook Marketplace, we actually found quite a lot of deals here. And we'll talk about some of the other stuff later, because I'm seeing a lot of RAM as well, and CPUs and cases and all this other stuff where people are trying to capitalize on the fact that graphics card prices are higher. And some people think that everything's higher as well because the graphics card prices are higher, and it's just not happening, as we'll talk about in a minute. But in terms of GPUs on Facebook Marketplace, we managed to sniff out a GTX 670 for $50, and they dropped it from 65. They're asking 50, so I said sure, I'll just go pick that up asking price, because it's a decent price. They're not asking too much, and I was like, that's fair. So I'll go get that. I also put down an offer of $60 on a 7970. And also a GTX 1050, an OEM version, popped up for $70, and I put down asking on that because that's just going to get snapped up so quickly, being a 1050 at 70 Aussie. So also I'll put all the USD pricing up on the screen for you guys if you're over in America or anywhere internationally where you can compare it to the USD rate. And now with the GTX 1050, they've already gotten back to me, said they would accept the $70. So I'm just waiting on them to send me the address and pickup time, and I'll go snag that. And then next up, we've got a GTX 950 Asus Strix for $80. I put down an offer of $70 and they accepted. And they also said, you're that guy on YouTube that hunts used PC parts. I'm like, that's me, dude. So let's meet up and do this. So they said, sure thing. And then moving forward, we've got some feelers out there that are still up in the air. One of those being a GTX 1050 with no bracket on it. They're asking $150. I put in an offer of $100. See if they get back to us. A 1050 Ti. But the problem with this is that if you don't have that I/O shield, it can make it really weird. If you're selling a PC, you don't want to sell it with zip ties on the graphics card, zip tied to the PC case. I've only ever done that once, and it's been on a PC I've given away. So, and it's not a great thing. Like, you don't want your graphics card out of middle of nowhere just falling off. So with all those deals out of the way, we're gonna go hop in the Tech Yes Mobile, go up to Brisbane, because that's where these two graphics card deals are. But we're gonna see Les on the way, and then hopefully also some more people get back to us while we're up seeing Les. So let's go cop ourselves some deals. Also, one more thing about this month, before I started this parts hunt, I also picked up 20 cases of RGB MSI tempered glass cases for 49 Aussie dollars each. So I got a heap of them in, and also picked up 30 power supplies, 20 of those being 450 watt, 10 of those being 650 watt. And now we got the power supplies for 45 Aussie each, and then the 650 watts for 55 each. So basically when it comes to other PC parts out there, we're talking CPUs, RAM, SSDs, stuff like that. I'm not seeing those prices increase. And actually, I'm seeing the opposite. I'm seeing them decrease. And we've got a sad story about some of the retailers I've been speaking to recently, which involves graphics cards directly. And this one's like a harsh reality, but we'll talk about that a little bit towards the end of this parts hunt. Well, let's go hit them bargains. So we just finished up at Les's place, and we got some good news and bad news. And the good news is we picked up 5 PCs, 4 of those being the Z200 workstations. We got 2nd gen and 3rd gen, so 1 2nd gen for 60, 3 3rd gens for 70. And we also picked up 5 monitors and also a pavilion with the red paint job on the front. So this thing's looking really good. I got this for $100, but it did have an SSD in it, so it's a little bit more. Plus I want to do a video with this. If you guys want to see what a pavilion can do in 2021, then let us know in the comments. But we also picked up a budget power supply for $10, and Les threw in 4 free monitor stands. And I love this because I get a lot of monitors over time with no stands. I usually either get them for free or really cheap. So free plus free equals amazing. Now for the bad news, and this is in relation to the GTX 1050. The guy messaged me just now, and he's saying that he's already sold it. And the guy's basically completely dogged me, but that does happen from time to time, so whatever. However, to counteract this bad news, we've now got one more piece of good news, and that is I found 2 GTX 750s. They want $60 for the pair. These look like they're 2 gigabytes and they're low profile. So I messaged them, I said, look, are these things working? Can I come get them? I'm just around the corner. And they said, sure, and I'll pay asking price of $60. And I think if I can get this, it's a pretty fair price for 2 750s considering what we're going through with GPUs. But I'm also waiting on the GTX 950 and the 7970 guy to get back to me still. So let's go cop these 750s, and hopefully in that time, those guys get back to us and we've got more GPUs.
Who do you want to call?
I'd have to think about it.
Is that our new number, mobile?
No.
Who do you want to call?
Nobody.
Who do you want to call?
I don't want to call anyone.
Who do you want to call?
Stop.
All right.
So we just picked up the GTX 750s. We got 2 of them and $60 for the pair. That's a pretty good deal considering this whole climate, except one of them had a low profile bracket and the other has a standard ATX bracket. Now, it's not really a problem, but if I want to use them in ATX cases, then I can only use one of them. But the good thing about the low profile bracket is I can put it in a OEM system, an SFF PC, small form factor, and you've pretty much got the cheapest gaming PC available in 2021. It'll still give out pretty good performance. But from here on in, the GTX 950 guy, he hasn't messaged me back, and the 7970 guy, he messaged me back. We've got some bad news, and that is he's literally like an hour up north from where I am. So if I go get this deal, it's really gonna make things late, and I've got to get to the GTX 670 guy who's on the Gold Coast, and I did promise him that I would get there before 7 p.m. So we're in a bit of a predicament where I'm waiting for the 950 guy, and if he doesn't message me soon and message me at all, then we're gonna have to skip that as well. So there's potentially our 2 GPU deals up in the air. 3 GPU deals in Brisbane up in the air.
Sorry, but I'm really having trouble recognizing that. Can we try again, but this time using the keypad on your phone? Please enter the postcode now using the keypad on your phone. Sorry, I didn't get that. I'm having trouble finding a store for you. Let me put you through to someone who can help.
Welcome to Pizza Hut. Our customer service team are all on calls, but shouldn't be long, so please hold and we'll be right with you.
So you probably tell that it's not my day for voice activation where it can't recognize the Aussie Bogan's voice, but that's not a problem. We'll just rock up to the pizza joint on the way home after we get all these deals. So we've just picked up that GTX 670, and I have been looking for a few more deals on the road here, and I've found 3 potential deals, but one of them, they already got back to me on the GTX 770. I offered them $70, and they came back and said that's way too low. They got to make it higher. They're looking for 100 firm. And I just said at $100, it's like, it's not worth it. So I just told them I'd pass. And the thing about that is like, you got to remember with these inflated prices, one thing that's inflating with the parts as well is, especially in the case of a GTX 770, is its age. That's inflating. Let's not forget that. So I do remember picking up one of these cards for around $80 in 2017. So $70 to $80 for this card seems about right, even with the current climate. But speaking of some better news, we got 2 more offers, a 10400F where they want 150 Aussie, and I said, look, I'll come pick it up for 140, just shave 10 off. And they said, sure, come and pick it up. So we're gonna go get that right now. And then also I put in an offer for $20 on 2 GTX 461 gigabytes. They're selling the 2 of them in the same ad. And I mean, they wanted $55, but it looked like it'd been sitting there for a long time. And I'm like, look, I'll just flick you a 20. They said, sure thing, come get it. So we've got more graphics cards and a good deal on that 10400F, where that's like 210 new. So we're getting it at a 33% discount. So we got deals, deals, deals. Let's do this. And now we are back at the Tech Yes studio, and we have picked up. We ended up scoring a few extra deals, and even though this GTX 460, I know people are going to be like, Brian, that is potato. I mean, for 10 Aussie dollars, like 7 USD per card, I can definitely have a bit of fun with that. That's going to be awesome. And the funny thing is about this was it's got this Cyclone sticker on it. This is it's in Japanese, so whoever bought these 2 cards had actually originally purchased them in Japan and brought them back to Australia. So they must have done it on holidays or something like that, because the guy who I bought it off, he wasn't a native Japanese speaker. And this right here is the i5 10400F. It just came to us in a box, and loose box. And I said to the guy, yeah, does this work? You sure it works? He's like, yeah. And I've actually bought off him before, so I know he's good for it. He just said, look, if there's something wrong with it, just return it. And he's happy to return it. So cool with that. Then we got the GTX 670, $50. And we picked that one up, and the guy actually said he had seen me before and he'd seen me on a parts hunt, so that was cool to stop and have a chat. And it's always good just to have a chat to people, especially if their passion is PC gaming and building. But with that aside, we've got the tally for this month's parts hunt, and I'll put it all up on the screen here for you, where we've got the total here at 1,470 Aussie dollars, and that's about 1,115 USD. So quite a big one, and I'm very happy with all of the deals here. I don't think any of the deals were even close to mediocre. I think this was pretty solid in terms of what we got. Now, GPUs, you can probably see a trend here. I'm kind of picking up 2 gigabytes, 2 gigabytes, 2 gigabytes, 1 gigabyte, 1 gigabyte. People just aren't mining with these GPUs. They're just not good to mine on. But of course, they can play games, which is something that excites me, because now we've got some cool potatoes coming. If you thought we could put together a PC for under $100, then that's exactly what I'm thinking we're gonna do with some of these parts right here. So stay tuned, but let's move over to the chair now, because we got some worrying stuff to talk about a little bit. And here we are now at the finish line, and I've gotten back a little bit earlier tonight. So I went and picked up those final deals, and we're now back, and it's 9:30 p.m. and I'm usually a lot more tired at this time, but I don't know. Lately, I've been getting the Tech Yes mojo back, and you guys have been seeing that. I don't know what it is. I do have a thing that I think it is, but I'm putting it to the test over the next couple of months, and I gotta see. So if it is, then I'll share it. Otherwise, in the meantime, it could just be placebo. Anyhow, favorite deal of the month, even though I like the GPU pickups we got here, I gotta say that first deal that we got with the server deals, I love just getting a heap of untested stuff and just a lot of it. And I think we just scored big time with 16 PCs for 650 Aussie, with a lot of them being 4th gen. Of course, Les is always consistent. Monitors, PCs, always need that stuff, and if I put graphics cards in them, I can always reflip them. But the GPU market, I've got some really bad news going forward with that, and this is directly from MSI's distribution chains, and that is that they're forcing customers, and this has been going on, I've been hearing stories of all about this, but it wasn't until I got offered this deal where I could buy a graphics card, say for instance an RTX 3070, but I then had to buy 3 power supplies with it, and it ended up coming, the 3070 would come to around 1,300 Aussie dollars or something like that. And then I got offered a 3090, and that would have come to 3,000 Aussie dollars, because I would have had to have bought, I think it was like 5 motherboards or something like that. And I just said, that's just like, for me, I just don't want to do that. It's basically the retailers, and this is what I'm hearing, the sad case of this whole GPU demand. And if you want to do GPU mining, then have a think about this, because retailers are actually starting to go out of business now. I got a call from one of my friends who's a retailer, and he said like, dude, we're out of GPUs, we can't get them, they're too expensive, and we can't sell PCs anymore. So basically, if the effects are going to start being felt from the cryptocurrency demand, really putting a massive distortion on the usual way of doing things in the PC market. So you're gonna see retailers, you're gonna see maybe even some of your favorite PC stores, if they're local, they might go out of business from this whole crypto situation that's going on, because this time around it's far worse than it was than 2017. I will tell you that. But the worst thing about this is all the brunt in the distribution chain is getting put on the end retailer. They're basically just passing the buck. So we can't sell these motherboards or these monitors or power supplies like we usually would. So we're gonna force the retailers to buy all this extra stuff that they don't need. And that's where I got this case deal, because people were just dumping cases. They got them for about $85 a pop, I think, and they're dumping them for $50 a pop. And they have to buy, say for instance, the worst of it I heard was they had to buy 10 cases just to get an RTX 3080, which brought the cost of the 3080 to around $2,000. Of course, they then sell 10 cases, get $500 back, and they get the 3080 for $1,500. And it's just this is in Australian dollars. So I definitely know that MSI is doing this, and also I've heard Asus and Gigabyte are doing this, and this is through the distribution chains, and they're forcing people, essentially the retailers, to take all the rough end of the stick. And so it kind of sucks to see that the retailers are copping all this hate when they're barely making any money, and then they've got to dump all these products just to get a sale of a gaming PC, for example, on their books. Anyhow, guys, that wraps it up for March 2021's used PC parts hunt of the month. If you guys have stayed this far and you're enjoying that Tech Yes content, then you know what to do. Hit that sub button, ring that bell. And also, before I get on out of here, we got the Question of the day, which comes from Tech Yes UK. Love the name, by the way. Great to see that you guys are repping that Tech Yes brand. And they ask, hey Brian, great video. I do a lot of 3rd and 4th gen stuff, so really looking forward to the light Windows 10 upload. When's it due? And it is due tomorrow. Make sure you stay tuned for that, where we're gonna show you how to install the custom Windows 10 first. And if you want to make your own custom Windows 10, then we'll include all the tools in that video. Say for instance, the version that we made here at Tech Yes City, if you guys wanna take out even more features or add back some features in, then this tutorial will teach you how to do that. But in the end, in terms of the performance, we'll also have another video coming up after that showing the differences between our version and also the Go Spectre version and also the default version. So we're gonna have a 3-way comparison. It's also gonna be on potatoes and it's also gonna be on a high-end rig to see the differences. Hope you guys are staying tuned for that. And with that aside, do let us know your favorite deal as well. And I'll catch you in another tech video very soon. Peace out for now. Bye.